and good luck with this.
Great. Thank you so much.
Wait, Dennis, I want to ask you something, and I want to completely take it away from the conversation of if people think this about comedian, and even going further, like if I'm not speaking about the Papagot, to give a different conversation here because it hasn't been kind of focused on, especially as a drama channel, kind of the pivot you've made in the past couple days on how you no longer identify as a drama channel, and I would love to hear more about that.
What's your question?
The question is, what's the sudden change? Because you tweeted out that you're now grateful because of this, because more of those kind of audience are leaving you, and you've spent.
I've been trying to pivot to less YouTube drama oriented content. I've been trying to pivot to more pop culture politics.
What does that mean? You've uploaded 4 videos about James Charles in the past 2 weeks.
So here's the thing. A lot of the content that I've been posting that's pop culture politics oriented, you can go through. I've done reactions to Ben Shapiro and other thing. It just hasn't picked up yet on my channel. I haven't been able to bring in this new audience. It takes a while. So I have to still cater to the interest of my audience who's there presently.
You can cater towards them, but you're fully making content for that. So to say fuck you, like, oh, all those people are leaving anyway, that's what you built your channel off of. Agree or disagree?
That I completely understand what you're saying. That
okay.
The same way you could say this. You know, when I first started doing this channel, I started doing it mostly. I was reacting to music videos and things that were completely unrelated to drama, and then I started reacting and commenting on memes and other things like that. And it evolved around the end of 2019 into talking about YouTube drama and covering internet scandals and all this stuff. And then the character started being developed as well around that time. The character play the cat in the Minecraft house thing. So the channel has gone through a lot of different phases. Even phase of me talking about internet scandals and all this stuff. It's gone through a lot of different phases.
But it's still circled back to you making videos about like James Charles. So we're back to square one.
So in my understanding of how the algorithm works, I can either kill my channel by essentially just serving my audience with none of the content that they want to see, or I can do a slow pivot, which is what I did when I was moving away from the other content I did. It took like 6, 7, 8 months for me to start getting picked up by the algorithm. So I had to try a lot of different videos, a lot of different titles and thumbnails and things. And so it's not easy to pivot to anything, especially when you have like people who consume politics or pop culture, like general American pop culture, don't want to hear about YouTube drama necessarily. And people who consume YouTube drama don't want to necessarily hear about the Kardashian drama or the Kardashian situation or that, you know, Ted Cruz is a scumbag. So it's, it takes a minute for me to be able to position the channel and have the algorithm distribute my content to this new audience. I have to have enough of a base to get the. You want to get technical? I have to have enough of a base of people who are going to consume the content off the bat, so I can get the view velocity I need, so that the video can rank in the algorithm in a way that people find it, that it's discoverable, and it actually builds this new audience base that I'm trying to reach out to. So that's getting very technical.
Yeah, Dennis, I'm doing the exact same thing, and that's a lot of words for something that's very easy to describe.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I've learned throughout the years in my conversations, not only with people here in LA who, you know, are specialized in this, but also, you know, I at one point I have a really good friend who's very good friends with somebody like who's an engineer at YouTube in New York. I got to ask him a bunch of questions, you know, like years ago before I even had followers. So this is like just my understanding of it. I'm not saying it's correct, but this is what I'm trying to do. And, you know, I wish I could just pivot completely. But here's the thing. You know, essentially, I need to serve the audience that's there. Some of the content, so I maintain my channel.
Wait, Dennis, sorry, I really don't mean to cut you off, but if you're there to serve the audience, then why are you telling them that you're glad to get rid of them, which you tweeted yesterday?
I'm moving outside of that. So by having
Dude, answer the question. You tweeted yesterday that you're glad to get rid of them. So why are you still catering towards them?
I'm explaining to you exactly what's happening. So by having less of the people to serve who want the old content, I'm clearing up a runway for me to actually be able to place the content that I want with just the people for the people who are there solely because they want to watch my content. So if people are there solely for the drama content, then and they're leaving because of the change, and there have been a lot of people who left because they were like either apolitical or when I started talking about politics, they were more conservative. This has been happening since like March, right? This has been happening. When I started like making fun of Ted Cruz or talking about other situations, there were a lot of people like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. A lot of people were very angry with me because I had never really been that political on my channel. But then I started talking about politics and these things, and it pissed a lot of people off, understandably. And those people left. So that ends up opening up a runway to the people who are my core audience, who actually identify with me beyond just what I do, like talk about, that they stay. And from there, I can build up this new audience base that actually aligns with the things that I'm trying to talk about now.
I totally get that. Okay, my final thing I'll say to you, and then I'll leave, is I completely understand about garnering an audience. I completely understand about different subgenres and stuff. In terms of you now building up this new audience, and you have this runway of old audience, why would you still, especially this week, like clickbait, like YouTube drama, like Jenna Marbles coming back when she didn't? That's gaining a new audience of the old content, which is contradicting what you just said.
One sec, you cut out because I just got a phone call. Sorry, can you say that again? My dogs are like, my friend's coming here to pick up my dogs. So,
okay, don't worry, I can repeat. So whenever you said about that you're now making content that's catering towards the new audience, and the old audience can watch videos when you put it out, why would you even this week clickbait like Jenna Marbles coming back, which is YouTube drama, which didn't happen, which is almost
like
gaining the old audience a new version?
We're kind of going around in circles a little bit. I explained this.
We're not. You say that to everyone. Like Dennis, I've been listening for a while. You're saying that to everyone.
Okay, so explain then to me what is going on. What's your deal?
I'm now repeating this for a third fucking time.
So hold on. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You're telling me that you're annoyed that I'm posting the same content that I said that I'm moving away from. I explained why I'm doing it, and I'm trying to understand what your point is. You want me to stop posting the content that I post, and you want me to post just the other content? That's what
I think
no.
sounds offended.
What the hell?
He's
trying to understand why you're clickbaiting drama if you don't want the drama viewers.
Exactly. Well, you said that you're trying to get new videos on the newer content, but you're not.
I am. In fact, I am. You can go back and see how often I've been posting videos, and go through and see that when there are things that I can legitimately cover, and I've been experimenting with a format, I do cover them, and I do.
Okay.
I don't understand specifically how you want me to do it. So,
is your whole point basically? Is the whole point like if you made your statement of how you're moving on? Is the whole point like stop posting about YouTube drama? Is that it?
No, the point is you just said that you like introducing new content to gain a new audience, and you had this runway of the previous audience with older stuff. So why would you continue clickbaiting drama, getting more of an audience of the older content that you no longer are making because that's the runway?
So just to clarify, I'm not really gaining a new audience because I'm losing subscribers. So that's
because of this.
Yeah, that's fine. So the reason why is because there are people who are there. I have over 500,000 people who still, and I look at the analytics and I know this, still want to watch that content. So I'm still serving them to the best of my abilities while on the other side covering pop culture stuff. I just covered the Will Smith apology. That's more broad pop culture stuff. So
he's trying to do a slow transition rather than a cliff breakaway.
Yeah, essentially it's a slow, gradual transition until I can build that new audience. Because if I just go jump off a cliff in that sense, it'll just kill my channel. It'll kill it. I've done it before, and it's it did to some extent. It has been part of the reason why I've been losing subscribers and viewers over the last few months. I started talking about politics and talking about topics that I didn't cover before, and naturally that's going to cause people to go and look for something else. That also changing the setting. That was also something that caused a lot of people to leave. Reading off of a teleprompter, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Typing out my scripts and reading it off a prompter. That's all things that have caused people to want to either stay or just go. And at the end of the day, look, I'm doing my best with the knowledge that I have. If you know something better than I do, feel free to recommend, and I'll try it out. I don't really know, like what you specifically want me to do. If you want me to stop posting videos about a certain thing, and
Dennis, it's not that dramatic. I'm not emotionally involved with your content. I'm just answering something that you literally just said.
yeah, and I answer that to the
Barely.
abilities.
But you are super aggressive, baby.
You just seem very invested in like me publishing content in whatever way you see that I should, or if I should
But
stop.
did you offend people when you said you weren't going to do drama anymore? Did that like offend some people? Like, oh, drama's I'm too good for drama now.
Probably did. Everyone's getting offended at everything.
Because I feel like
everyone
Adam, you
cries
sound like
when
you're
obviously
offended.
I'm not offended, but it's ironic for a lot of you to be. No, let me speak. It's ironic for a lot of you to be on here being like, we're talking about the same thing over. We're going in circles. You main people that are speaking, and then someone provides a new section of conversation, and then you're like, oh well, come on. Like,
No,
all right.
I'm trying to understand
I thought your
you.
question was great. I just think you were a little aggressive.
I thought your question
not
was
being
great too,
horrible.
Adam. I'm actually like talking about your question. I'm trying to figure out like, were you offended, by like when he said he's not doing drama anymore? Were you like, oh, are you too good for drama, Def Noodles? Like, I'm just trying to figure you out because of your tone.
I went, it's a stupid as fuck tweet.
Also,
sorry.
To clarify,
I just went on Hi Noodles. I just went on your page because I was like, I follow you. And I was like, what is he talking about? He's making a change in his stuff.
I pinned it to the top of the space.
Sorry?
I pinned the tweet to the top of the space. I don't know if you can refresh it. It should show up there.
So when I just went to your channel, the only two changes that have happened on your channel is you talking about the allegations that were made to you and you apologizing. And everyone here, I hope, has seen them and knows that that's why you've been losing followers. It's not because you're changing your content. It's because you went on an insane rant on Twitter. And then we go to your normal content to see if you're still okay. And you're not okay there either.
100%. So I've been losing followers because of this, 100%. But I've been losing followers for months, since March.
Of course.
When I started losing them.
I'm not debating that. I'm just debating that you are now losing so many followers because of the behavior that you're showing. There have been several YouTubers that have switched their content several times. I mean, you tweeted about Logan Paul today, like how many things did he do? And his followers are still following him. Even after the forest incident, people still stay.
That's a weird juxtaposition because if you just compare the follower count that he has on his vlog channel, which is over 20 million, versus what he has on his podcast, he's been working longer on his podcast and he was only able to get a fraction of the followers he has on his podcast. So whenever you do a pivot like that, you're not going to appeal to the same audience and it's harder to build it back.
Not. But what matters more to you? What matters more to you? Money or being genuine?
No, I'm already authentic 100%. The thing that's to me is just currently, I just have a broader interest in politics because of the state of America. That's one thing that I wish I could talk about every fucking day. I even had Vosh on my podcast past week, and I'm having more political stop by on my podcast talk about. That's something that I'm very interested right now because
Loki, can you mute?
Now,
Thanks.
That's one thing. And now, as far as like the pivot itself, I did 2 videos over the past month where I was like man on the street. I went and did this thing. I had 2 other ones that were planned. I had the Juggalo Fest. I'm going on Thursday night, filming on Friday, and then uploading on Saturday, I think. And then I had I had the other one that I was going to do at the Jake Paul event, the Jake Paul fight, but that, he canceled it, so I can't do it. So the plan, essentially, I would love to do more videos where I go to events and where I get to have a story that I tell, and then I can supplement those with the irrelevant news segments, which are more broadly focused on broad pop culture and politics, this is all stuff that I've said on my podcast. You can go back, even last month, we were talking about this, all these changes that I'm making. So this isn't something new that came out of left field. Anybody who watches it, I know it's not the same, like with Logan Paul, I have, there's only a segment of my audience, a very small segment of my audience who's currently watching the podcast, but people who watch it know that this is where we're going. And then also the roast battles. So that, the comedy aspect, the shows that I'm gonna live stream from the event space that I got. I'm essentially building a comedy club in the front of my office, and that's pretty much what my content is going to pivot towards. That's what the vision is for the next year, And I have other stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes that I can't talk about right now, that I can't divulge. But in the next 3 months, you're gonna see something. In the next 2 years, maybe you're gonna see something that I'm working on with a bunch of creators behind the scenes. That, it's there's some midterm and long-term projects that I'm developing. So there's a lot, and honestly.
Okay, but then what Adam just said is not that hard to understand, right? Because he's saying if you are telling your audience, right, it doesn't matter if they follow you for who you are, or because I was following you from when you were 100K, so you were very small back then. And I just keep following. However,
I have one question. So you watched, what content was I posting at the time? Curious.
Well, I got to you because of Cavos. So, but yeah, I rolled in watching you when you started doing drama.
Hey, I was still posting music video reactions. I was still reacting to K-pop and reacting to other stuff. Around 200 something K is when I started doing the transition where I actually started reacting to Onision freakout videos, and those started doing super well. And then I think after that, it was Nick Avocado got in a scandal. I started covering that. And then I started doing a bunch of Trisha Paytas reactions. And then that's how things started building. But around 100K, I was mostly reacting to music videos from even Thailand. I was reacting to music videos from Thailand and the Philippines and K-pop and all this stuff. So I'm curious if you were actually watching me then, because you would know.
Yeah, no, I was watching you around the Onision parts. So if you say that that's 200K, then you just hit 200K. However, look, it's very simple. Your audience grows with you. The people that leave, they'll always leave. Look at Nicholas Diorio. I follow him as well, and he used to make these whole massive hit pieces that were really well researched, but he's streaming now. So I just watch the clips of his streams because I just don't have time to sit there for 4 hours and watch a stream, right?
Speaking of, he has to come on next.
When you switch over from the what's it called, the Minecraft cat, right? When you switch over from him to the guy that you are now, right, and you started just swearing up a storm constantly, I was like, what the hell is going on? Is he okay? And you were like, this is just me, I'm leaving that behind. And your audience, we didn't leave, we just stayed because we liked the content and we liked you as a person. However, I unfollowed you here now and on YouTube because I just cannot bear what's happening right now. And I know that it's most likely because of the new team that you have around you, because it's not their money that they're messing around with, right? But you cannot sit there and say to me that the situation with Papa God was just one joke, because it wasn't.